Okay, we're here with Andy Willoughby of 3stepmom.com. Also, write down this phone number, 800-632-9671. 800-632-9671 for more information, because you're going to want to call after we hear what Andy has to say.
Well, and we were just in the commercial break talking to Andy, and I'm still blown away, Andy, by the fact that your downline makes $3.5 million a year?
A month.
A month?
A month?
A month.
Okay, write that number down.
Okay.
800-632-9671.
How did I miss that? How did I miss the month?
The show is over. We're going to go Stepmom.
We're going to Kansas City. So,
yeah, we'll show you how to do it.
Okay, so but that's what 3stepmom does. I'm sorry.
No,
but
I'm just excited
because you're showing. We keep saying the same thing. Mary and I do this all the time, Andy. We like finish each other's sentences, but you're
very short conversations.
3stepmom, you actually show moms how you do it?
Yeah, go to 3stepmoms.com and fill out the information, and we'll show you how to do it. You see, what happened was, years ago when I got into networking, I had had a whole lifetime of broadcasting and radio, and sold a lot of advertising, did a lot of advertising campaigns, and what I found was that most all businesses have the same basic business principles that they operate, that, you know, the basic system all the successful companies work with. And I've worked with every kind of business, from the small home business to the bigger businesses, to every kind of business you could actually work with almost. I did advertising for. So I started learning how businesses work. So when I got into networking, I saw that there were some people that made a lot of money in networking, but there are a lot of people who didn't make much money in networking. And I started looking at, well, what was the differences? And, well, most of it was past experience and how people worked at it. And, of course, I said you have to work at it as a business and not a hobby. But it does take more than that. See, I never wanted to get on an interview like this in front of a group of people or on the telephone talking to somebody and tell them that they could make a lot of money in networking just so I could make a lot of money in networking. I wanted to have a system so that anybody, they didn't have to have a background of business. They didn't have to have a sales personality. They could just be a regular person and get in just like they promised. Because what happens is people go to a meeting, they see somebody stand up on the podium, they talk about how they are making $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 a month in networking, and the person pays $35 or $150 or whatever to get involved. They take their kit, go home, and the first week they look at that kit 3 or 4 times, and they check in there, and then the next week they look at it again, and they check to see if there's any money in it. And the rest, so they wait. And so that, every week they check that kit to see if there's any money showed up, and it doesn't show up. A month later, there's no money. Another month later, they still look at it, there's no money. Finally, about 6 months, they look at it and say, hey, this doesn't work. And it's because they didn't know how to work it. So I developed a system called the 3-Step Plan, which works like a mini franchise, in which we do the advertising. We advertise nationwide on radio, television, magazines, internet, and to actually help people find customers. Because, sorry about that, girls, because what happens, a little rock, and I'm getting excited about what I'm talking about, hit my computer, but what happens is we advertise. Most people run out of people to talk to. Well, every business out there has advertising. They have some kind of advertising going. And then we developed the marketing. So people who weren't salespeople, we actually created pre-recorded telephone presentations, video and internet presentations, so you don't have to be a salesperson. And that's why we call it the 3-Step Plan. When a person responds to our advertising, one of our members, not a salesperson, but a regular person just like they are, who wanted to have their own home business, starts by first returning their call, and they'll 3-way in a overview of how the system works, and they'll just do it over the telephone. Anybody can do it with 3-way calling. Just boom, 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 do a 3-way calling. It's that simple. And then they'll send them video or audio presentations that they can watch on their own leisure, and then do their own due diligence. So a person doesn't have to be a salesperson. All they have to do is to be able to be a tour guide through the 3-Step Plan. And
well, that's a lot less intimidating. That's a lot less intimidating for people. Because I think with women especially, they feel like they don't want to sell family and friends. The salesy part is where they get lost.
And, this is where we really come in, is because we give you the advertising avenue so that there's people actually calling you asking for information. to deal, to develop your business and to have customers and other people to work with. And that's where the advertising really comes in, and the way we do it with the system, so the whole system pulls together and works together. And, people all of a sudden start doing this business differently when all of a sudden they realize they don't have to sell their friends and family. Because just as you say, people are always talking about their cars, they're talking about their business, they're talking about other things to people all the time.
Yeah. And so with the 3-step, if moms go to 3stepmom.com, if they're watching the show and they're interested in what success you've had and how to work that plan that you have, they can go to 3Step Mom, right? Yeah,
3stepmom.com, and then leave their name and phone number, and then a regular person, not a salesperson who's going to push them into anything, is going to call them. They'll three-way in a phone message, just a 5-minute phone message that they'll listen to. That'll give them an overview, and then they'll send them information. We have webinars. You can actually put a person on an internet webinar so that the presentation's done for you. So you're really a tour guide. You don't have to be a salesperson. So now we're taking care of finding the people and the customers. Then we've done the marketing and the presentation for you through the presentations. And then all the product, you don't have to stock, store, deliver any products, because the company we work with, they deliver the products. They send all the products out. They do all the product research and development. They collect all the money and pay all of the sales taxes, so you don't have to have any of that detail behind you. And that's where you can do a business like this without having employees and big lawyer bills and big tax bills and things like that.
Well, and then also part of the company that you work with is also on a mission to make sure that not only are moms able to work from home and make money, but they're also able to help children around the world. And I think we're down to the last minute. Can you believe how quickly this goes by? Can you tell us real quickly about that?
Oh, that is such a terrific program. You can actually build your business while you're feeding hungry children around the world with a charitable endeavor, what we call being an enterprise that's more of a charity, where you're actually an entrepreneur who helps other people by developing your business. You're feeding hungry children in third world countries, and just as a person who would work for a charitable organization would get paid, you'll actually earn your income by helping feed children around the world, and that's so rewarding.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, so we'll send people to 3stepmom.com, where they can call 800-632